Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to Khoj Gurbani's segment of Shabad the Day. Our focus today is going to be the second pauri or stanza of the Jup Bani, and it reads as follows. Hukmi hovan akar, hukm na keha jai, hukmi hovan ji, hukm mila vadiyai, hukmi uttam neech, हुक्म लिख दुख सुख पाइया है एक ना हुक्मी बख्शीस एक हुक्मी सदा पवाई है हुक्म अंदर सबको बाहर हुक्म न कोय नानक हुक्म जे बुझै तहाउ मैं कहे न कोय. You will recall that in the opening passage of the Japji that we alluded to earlier, Guru Nanak emphasized the primary importance of hukam in framing his foundational question. How do we exemplify the truth? How do we cast aside the veil of falsehood? And his response was by submitting to hukam, or the divine order, and living in consonance with divine will, or cosmic will, parna, and one will acquire divine approval, raza. In this passage, Baba Nanak provides us with further intimations about the central idea of hukam. We will see as we go along that the idea of hukam is closely linked to several other concepts in Sikhi, such as parna and raza, divine pleasure or will, amar and farman, a divine fiat, kudrat, the universe, and nadar, grace or vision. And as we proceed through this journey, we will also discover that hukam also shares a basic unity and overlapping of meaning with other foundational concepts like naam, shabad, and guru. So for a moment, let us revert back to the top of this stanza to see what intimations about hukam we can glean from this passage. Hukmi hovan akar, hukm na kahya jai. Hukam gives rise to the universe, yet the workings of hukam remain beyond the human ken. Hukmi hovan ji, hukam mila vadiyai. From hukam arises all sentient life, and it is through hukam that the highest honor or gift is bestowed. And we have to note here that vadiyai means a blessing, an honor, or a gift. And in Gurmat, the highest honor or gift or blessing is an evolved Naam-centered consciousness, which brings discernment of hukam. Hukmi uttam neech, hukam likh dukh sukh paiya hai. Hukam also governs the moral and ethical worlds by creating the necessary framework or ecology, if you will. And it is against this backdrop that individuals have the freedom to make choices that determines their status, the state of their emotion, their joys, and their grief. Ik na hukmi baksis, ik hukmi sada pavai hai. Some of us will make better choices than others, and that will determine our fate, or whether we get mired down or whether we achieve liberation. Hukme andar sabko, bahar hukm na koi. Everything is contained within hukam, from the physical structure of the universe to the social and moral order that governs humans, to the quantum world. Nothing is immune from the authority of hukam. And now we come to the foundational punchline, which elaborates and further clarifies the message from the first pauri. So in this stanza, you will notice, as in the first pauri, the essence of the message is encapsulated in the last couplet. And here goes. Nanak hukme je bujhai, ta haume kahe na koi. Nanak, if you solve the riddle of hukam, then you will no longer assert your haume or ego. Guru Nanak here clarifies what that wall of falsehood is. Remember that? Kude tutte pal. It is none other than our own haume, what he calls haume, and we will down the course talk about haume, but loosely translated for our purposes here, haume means ego consciousness. Notice also that Guru Nanak uses the term bujna, meaning to solve a riddle, implying that hukam should be approached not as a discursive exercise, but as a mystery to be lived in the context of our human existence. So the question naturally is, how is it done? Well, think about it. We are Sikhs, and a Sikh implies a teacher, a guru, because it's a relationship and an expression. And it is to the guru that one must turn to in order to unlock the knowledge that will in turn reveal the mysteries of hukam to us. Now we will discuss the idea of a guru separately elsewhere as we go down this journey, but here it suffices to say that the concept of guru in Sikhi is more nuanced than the generally accepted idea. So the Guru's wisdom, Gurmat, is expressed as Shabad, and it is not obtained through conventional modes of acquiring knowledge. We'll talk about this a little bit later. So solving the riddle of hukam through the Guru's Shabad brings about that enhanced awareness or expanded consciousness. It gives us the intuition into how hukam operates, not only in nature, but also how it manifests in human culture as moral law and ethics. The two are intertwined. Now, what food for thought and takeaways can we glean from this passage? To us here at Coach Gurbani, we notice that in Gurmat, the concepts of time, space, causation recur over and over again and provide us with hints on how to shape our response to hukam. There is an equivalence in Gurmat between death and time. They are both captured by the same term, kal. So life in the context of time is also defined as a single breath or a present moment. Accept first the reality of imminent death, Guru Nanak is telling us, and then step up to play the game of life. Live in the moment. Lament not the past and fantasize not about the future. Engage fully with your senses and your environment, and as Bani says, resolve your own affairs with your own honest efforts. So Gurbani also repeatedly and frequently speaks about our existence as being a brief and fleeting passage, and this earth being a way station, a dharamsal, or a place of learning. Gurbani also speaks of life being an opportunity at the same time, an opportunity pregnant with potential. It says, this is your time, this is your turn, ehi teri bariya, ehi tera avsar. And it cautions us that to miss out will prove very, very costly. So one implication of this is that we are of the spirit, we are timeless, but at the same time embodied and incarnated in a physical world with an essential and inextricable bond to the natural universe around us. So we believe that such a view gives our existence, it imbues our existence with a nobility of purpose. The idea is that we should plunge into this world on behalf of the timeless one and execute hukam. The individual's goal and our evolutionary destiny as a species is to really participate and move the impulse of hukam along and not block it by being stuck in haume, which is a structure that is time and space bound and cannot really see beyond itself. That is the fundamental challenge. We are all full participants in an emerging and evolving cosmic drama. So in the end, living in Hukam can be described as an expansion or flowering of consciousness, where the duality of mind and matter begins to recede and the mystery of existence begins to reveal itself. Life begins to move with ease and naturalness. It becomes effortless. The doors of perception become wider and cleaner, revealing to us an overwhelming sense of oneness. One's inner rhythm syncs up with the rhythm of existence, as it were, and there is a recognition of being a participant in the universal symphony, Anahad Naad. Emotional highs and lows that are so characteristic of our mundane lives cease to be. Sorrow and joy pass and flow like ripples on the surface of our consciousness, which, ocean-like, remains calm and serene in its depth. The realization dawns that the ups and downs of life, grief and happiness, are like the clothes we wear and discard every day. With that message, we leave you today. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.